First of all, Andrea doesn't even know Amy. She has never met her a day in her life. She doesn't really know the dynamics between Amy and Tammy and what kind of monster Tammy is. But she's the one that makes a decision to set up this meeting completely out of order. Tammy is a nasty. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my nieces and nephews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. It's time for Auntie Advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie Advice. This episode had me so mad. I don't know how you all feel about it, but this episode really dug down into my soul and has me feeling all kinds of ways out this mofo tonight. I'm hoping everybody is safe and sound in their homes and that you have everything that you need, that you are dug out and have at least had an opportunity to try to remove some of that ice if you have been impacted. We are impacted by it, y'all. Oh my God, it's just the worst thing like ever. Anyway, I'm Auntie. This is Auntie's Advice. Thank you all so much for being here. We have I just want to say thank you to everybody who is here. Thank you to my members. I'm hoping that you all enjoyed the membership gathering we had last night, talking all things 90 Day Fiance, the past, and the future. Okay, I really truly enjoyed that. So if you are a member, don't forget to go out there and check it out. Okay. So anyway, and we had a panel. Okay, thank you to the two people that came up, Day and Nathan Tim too. I really do appreciate you all joining the conversation. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Y'all, let's talk about it. Let me make sure I get everybody, okay? I want to shout out Randy Thompson, Barbara, Yolanda. Who else is out here? Let me make sure I get y'all, okay? Tamika. Okay, if I didn't do Randy, I'm going to do Randy again. Hey, Randy. Okay, y'all, let's get into this episode that happened last night. I blame the way that Tammy is on Chris. And I know y'all probably saying, Auntie, she's a grown woman. She makes her own decisions. She is who she is, right? And that very well may be true. But the family has pacified Tammy for so long. And even when Tammy is wrong, nobody wants to say anything. Chris has placed himself as the leader of this family, right? He's the navigator. He's the negotiator. He's all that, right? And absolutely, Randy. Absolutely, Randy. Yes, Barbara. It is out of control. Hello, baby. Welcome. It's out of control. And I blame the family for Tammy being like this. When we first came out here and started watching this show, right, y'all? And I'm trying not to be hype. But I've been in the house all day. I got cabin fever some more. I can't wait to be able to get in my car and drive away. So a lot of it may just be because I feel like I'm on edge and I just need to get out. But ain't no way I'm getting out because my driveway is just absolutely a complete sheet of ice. I done tried all kinds of tricks and gimmicks to get that ice up. So I may be a little rough on this review and the one I'm getting ready to do afterwards. So y'all just give me a little bit of grace. Let me put some lotion on. That usually calms me down. Or at least I think it do. Absolutely. Thank you, Ray Dollar. Ray Dollar be on point. Ray Dollar be just on point. Like, period. Even when I'm not, she on point. It just is what it is out here in these streets, in this Auntie advice streets. Okay. Let's hear for Ray Dollar. Great job. She always does a great job. So the girlfriend, so the family is, Amy is just basically going through because Tammy is so nasty. And as I said, I absolutely blame Chris and Misty for this. I blame all of them for this. Tammy has been out of control since forever. When she was 750 pounds, when she was 500 pounds, Tammy has always been nasty. And when we first got introduced to Tammy, right, Tammy was at home sleeping with everybody just like her sister, especially a black man. Let's just go ahead and tell the truth. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice for her to suck off with her. Auntie, come, Auntie. You be getting all out of control. And who was living next door to her, catering to all her wishes and her needs? Amy and Michael. Now, Michael ain't there anymore. But they was catering to every one of that girl's fat needs. I ain't bullying her. I ain't doing none of that. I'm just talking about her as a person. She is so unhinged right now. And nobody is bringing correction to her, although they know she was wrong. In last week's episode, Chris and Misty both said that Tammy was out of control and she was wrong. Like, period. But we don't want to say it out loud. And then they don't want Tammy to lash out at them. This is what I believe. They don't want Tammy to lash out at them about anything. Here she has this girlfriend that Amy is meeting the first time under these kind of conditions. So what's the big secret? What is she hiding about the girlfriend? I'll wait. Amy is trying to get married. She picked her other girlfriend to be the maid of honor or the matron of honor or whatever. She didn't pick Tammy. Chris and Misty feel like she should have picked her. It ain't going to be right without Tammy there. Maybe, just maybe, Amy has finally made a decision to take care of herself and not Tammy. I showed y'all last week, I think I deleted them, but I showed y'all last week the nasty text messages that Tammy sent to Amy. Basically saying that Amy is a deadbeat mom. Because Amy does not want to go with her to the job. Tammy probably didn't even explain to Amy what it was. Amy is saying she had PTSD. Maybe she does. Just maybe she actually does. Now, the name of this episode is 1,000 Pound Sister, Season 8, Episode 4, Nobody's Butt Monkey. Tammy is supposed to be moved in with her little girlfriend, right? But she still got some stuff at her own place. So the dude, Billy, comes over. Now we remember Billy from other episodes. Now, according to them, they met back in 1983, where he was like an administrator over some church. Right now, I believe she said that he's pastoring, and all that kind of stuff, right? And so they've been best friends ever since. And when she got married to Caleb, he married them. And he comes over to the house to visit Tammy. We know that Tammy has had surgery a long time ago, but he finally makes his way around it, which I thought was shady, because Tammy has not only had weight loss surgery and all that kind of stuff, right? She's also had her whole body done. So why he just showing up? Anyway, I digress, because I think he was showing up and he was being shady when he showed up. Y'all stay with me on this. So now he comes over to the house. He wants to see Tammy. Tammy has, had the weight loss surgery. She's had skin reduction and all that kind of stuff. And so he's coming over and he's saying that he saw her on the street. He wouldn't have recognized her. But this is somebody who has been knowing her since 1993. I don't care how much weight I lose. My friend's going to know who I am. He comes over there and she starts bad mouthing Amy off the brickety break. Off the brickety break. She's sitting up in front of this pastor cussing her head off about her sister. I just don't understand the jealousy and the audacity of Tammy to think that the whole entire clan has to be on her side, pushing her, giving her compliments, riding her back and forth. She wasn't even happy. Now, I must say the house was dilapidated, but she wasn't even happy with Chris's wife, Brittany. Y'all remember? She was not happy with Brittany. She had to move because Brittany had a problem with Tammy always being over there and needing Chris to do something for her. We're going to talk about it. She ended up getting in arguments with Brittany. She didn't have anything positive to say about the woman, although her husband is working day and night to cater to make sure that Tammy got a roof over her head. Did she ever say thank you to Brittany for supporting Chris while Chris was doing all of this? Now they sitting up there, right? And they're, sitting up there talking. And every time you turn around, she's talking about Amy. So she goes on and she wants to, tell him about, Amy not speaking to her, that she had asked Amy to go to the shelter, with her. And Amy sent a simple text message. Like I said, I put it up last week saying, what kind of animals there? I have PTSD. So he was like, PTSD? How she got PTSD? He said, oh yeah, that's right. She got bit by the camel. So maybe she does. So Tammy says, well, she been, going to pet stores and buying, looking at birds and cats and all of that kind of stuff. But he's sitting over there knowing that maybe she does have PTSD. I mean, imagine you sitting somewhere getting bit by a camel. You get the, it came through the window, bit you in front of your kids. You bleeding out. You got to get stitches. Your flesh hanging off of you. And then you get locked up because you got, stuff in the car. She having a problem. All Tammy had to do was say, it's not a zoo. It's a shelter where they got dogs and cats and ferrets. But she's so nasty. Auntie, calm down. She's so nasty, she can't even say that. She can't even bring herself to say that. She get to cussing her out, telling excuses. She has no compassion for anybody. First of all, this is your first job. You couldn't even clean up the dog poop. You couldn't walk any of the dogs. These people are giving you grace. How about you work there for a while? Okay, get settled at the job before you start using it as some type of museum or some type of field trip. That's unprofessional anyway to even have your sister at the job. Or do they want to film with Amy so they can say that they filmed with both of them. Look, don't play the game. The girl didn't want to come, she ain't come. But instead, you gonna call her all kinds of itches and send her hate text messages. I mean, just going back to back to back to back. So the guy Billy sits there with his shady self. It wasn't that his name, Billy? He sits there with his shady self and tells Tammy that Amy and them reached out to him to officiate their wedding. For what? Y'all riddle me that. Answer that. Why would he, being a man of the cloth, whatever cloth, I guess there's many cloths you can have, why would he even say that and repeat that to Tammy? And they're going to say, well, I ain't going to judge her. I'm going to just, listen to him. Whatever. But why was that Tammy's business when you know that there's dissension? He came through the door knowing there was dissension. So is he a man of the cloth for real, for real? Or is he stirring the pot? I look at the little small things. I keep telling y'all, it is not what people do. It's what people say out their mouth. And I was like, you shady as I don't know what. Why would you even bring that up to her? Now, all of a sudden, Amy can't use the same official. Most people in families and different things like that use the same person anyway. Like, come on now. Come on. It was nothing wrong with Amy, who has had a relationship with Billy probably just as long as Tammy did, especially since Amy was her caregiver forever. Dog, Tammy mother don't do nothing for Tammy. Let's just be real. She comes out in a wheelchair and she's negative. All of the kids talk about the mother. Do y'all see Chris going over that mother? Let's go and visit her? No. No. Do y'all see Misty going over there and visiting her? Do y'all see anybody going over there and visiting her? Do y'all see Tammy going over there and visiting her unless she got some shady stuff that she want to talk about? Tammy explained what was going on between her and Amy, but it was mighty funny that she left out that she called the girl a deadbeat mother. She didn't tell that to the little pastor guy. She did not mention that she went out of control. She went ballistic and she said some very offensive stuff. That kind of stuff will get you jacked up. Now, all of a sudden, Amy is jealous of her. But the whole entire time that we see Tammy on screen, including spending time with Andrea, what is she doing? What is she doing? She's talking about Amy. Her girlfriend, Andrea, takes her to go and get her hair done. Both of them act as if they have never been to a beauty parlor in their life. Now, I'm telling y'all, it was either last season or the season before that when Amy and the child went and got their hair dyed and got some new clothes and all of that. So for Tammy to sit up there and say that this is the first time she's had a blowout, use a whole lot. Because we saw y'all when y'all went and had y'all hair done. Wasn't Amy's blue and yours was like a reddish color? Like, what are we doing? So you didn't go under the bowl? Her and the girlfriend acting like they have never been to a salon before. When we've seen them seen Tammy and Amy go and get their feet and stuff done. What are we doing? We're rewriting stories and acting as if we have never seen them before. So when they went and got their hair colored and fried and dyed and laid to the side and had their little photo shoot, you mean to tell me them people ain't washed their hair? They just put dye and changed it? Y'all remember? I know y'all remember because y'all been with me and we done been down this road together. So why would she sit there and lie to Andrea and act as if this is her first time? She told me, I thought a blowout was something out of a diaper. What are you talking? What are we doing here? What are we doing? We are always in some mess with these sisters. They are so up and down. And let me just say this, if you got siblings, if you got one or more siblings, you're going to have difficulties, chaos, and confusion sometimes in your family. But there are lines that you can't cross. And even if you think it, you don't say it. And then you can't walk around and make it seem like you're the victim. Tammy is not the victim in this. Now, I ain't looking at the comments on purpose because I don't want to get turned off or yell at nobody or disagree with nobody. I don't want to do none of that. I'm going to just speak my speech and talk my stuff. Tammy is not the victim. She is the villain in this story. And I also blame Chris and Misty. Even when the other sister, and I don't know why her name is not coming to my mind, even when the other sister had her leg or her knee broken and Tammy was living in her house, allowing that sister's son, her sons, her nephews to come over there, ransack her refrigerator, eat all her food and all of that kind of stuff, right, y'all? And when she wanted Tammy to get up out of her house, look at how Tammy does not, she is not the person who values kindness. She's not the type of person who understands that people don't have to do what they do for your sorry. You went and got a volunteer job at a shelter. You've never taken care of yourself in your life. Never. Not a nary time. In my opinion, you've been living off of Social Security all your life. You don't even know how to drive. You talk all that trash and you need to go back and forth to the store on a tricycle. I'm sorry. She couldn't ride a tricycle at that time, a hay barrel. They couldn't even put her on the back of a hay cart. And somebody is doing something for you, and you have the audacity to treat them that way. I don't see how anybody likes Tammy. I thought this nasty Tammy was gone. Now, was Amy looking at her and feeling some kind of way? Oh, here we go. When Tammy lost weight, yeah, that's just sibling rivalry. That happens. That ain't out of the norm. That is the norm. Everybody can say, "Oh, my family, we don't have those kind of problems." Yet, you got something because nobody gets along all the time. And I mean, if it wasn't for Amy, even though she gets on my nerve too, none of them would have weight loss surgery. Not in every one of them. So if you can't stand down with your sister and say, you know what, I appreciate this stuff, when has she ever thanked Amy? Amy is at a place of her life where she done found a man that love her. She says is just happy. Let her be happy. And then the family has the audacity to be mad and say something because Amy has made a decision to get her piece by hook or by crook. Amy has finally decided to put herself first. She was in that trash relationship with Michael, and she's met a guy who's cleaned her house. Have y'all seen how clean Amy's house is? In last episode, Amy showed her feet and they was clean at the bottom. I can't pick nobody man for them. I didn't pick none of my siblings, none of their partners. They pick them. I decide what kind of relationship I'm going to have with them, how involved I'm going to be, but that's it. The rest of it, I ain't got nothing to do with it unless you mistreat one of them. That's my business. And whether or not you like him or not, have respect. Tammy has respect for no one. Not one person who's put a roof over her head or food in her belly. And now Andrea got a babysit. Amy goes with her family. She's riding. They meet at the at the bakery, and they're having a food tasting. They have different cupcakes and stuff like that. Miniature cakes. And they usually do them now in testing to and cupcakes, right? They do a little simple thing. The lady said that she is accustomed to the bride, the groom, and the mother-in-law. Well, honey, times has changed because I went with my girlfriend. It was a bunch of us up in that joint tasting cakes, right? And they all sitting around the table, and I was looking at Misty and at Chris, and I was like, they phony. They really don't mess with Amy either. I don't know whether or not they just really don't like this guy, or they just don't want to see Amy happy. I am questioning myself about it, but I'm telling you right now, I do not like the way that they treat Amy. Let Amy be happy. If this is her mistake, this is her mistake to make. Where's Misty's man? And I know Chris ain't talking with his wife with that big swoop. I know he ain't talking. That woman looks 70. He don't have a leg to stand on. There's nothing to me attractive about Brittany. I'm happy she had the weight loss and all of that. I ain't hating on her. But there's nothing attractive about Brittany. But he loves her. That's who he picked. Okay. All right. It is what it is. But you ain't got to treat her wrong. They sitting there, Chris side on, Misty looking to the side. I would not want these kind of people around me when I am celebrating and venturing into one of the most important things that I will ever venture into is marriage. And I got these people around me who really not genuinely happy for me. You just want to film. Because the more that you film with them, right? These are my opinions. The more they film, the more episodes they are, the more check they get. All of the family is eating off of Amy. And I'm not saying they got to kiss Amy's butt, because we all know that we will drag Amy in a minute. But all of them eating off Amy. All of them. All of them. They sit down, they eat the little cakes and stuff like that. The little miniature cupcakes. Amy is eating too much, but okay. But Brittany shouldn't have been there at all. Let's just go ahead and tell the truth. Why she did? She just had weight loss surgery. Misty's sitting at the table. Amy eats too much. She gets a sugar overload and she starts dumping. She burps and she feels better. She picks the cake ones that she like. We see the women take Amy out wedding dress shopping. The maid of honor, Brittany, and who else was it? And Misty. The all three of them pick out dresses. The one that she chose was the one that Brittany did because it was form fitting, and I thought that it looked nice on Amy. I really did. The other ones gave her big bulky Cinderella style type dresses with too much tulle, too much lace, too much everything, right? But Brittany picked out a very nice dress for her, and I was happy. Like, I want to be happy for Amy. Now, Amy said that she wanted to have it in an asylum. She wants it to be haunted. I would have said something to my sibling about that too. I ain't even gonna lie about that. I ain't gonna go up in there. I'm not gonna play with the afterlife. We ain't got that to do. You have it somewhere. I'm coming though. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna show out. I'm gonna support you in what you do, but I don't want nothing to do with it. But I thought that it was sweet that the ladies decided to go out. Tammy sits there when she is getting her hair done with her girlfriend, right? And she, she says, I don't think I'm going to get invited to the wedding. Why are you worried about it? Ain't she a deadbeat mom? Isn't she all of those nasty things that you said about her? Why are you concerned whether or not you go on or not? Every time we look up, Tammy's talking about it. So Andrea, the girlfriend who's never met Tammy a day in her life, doesn't know the ins and outs of this any more than we do, decides she is going to invite Amy to come and meet with Tammy, knowing that Tammy isn't ready for it. She doesn't have the maturity to even handle how to flip a pancake correctly. Yeah, she's sitting in the car and telling her girlfriend, I don't want this, and she better not say nothing to me. About the comment, and I don't want her crying, and I don't want her doing this, and I don't want her doing that. But every time you turn around, she's talking to her girlfriend about how much she misses Amy, and she's worried about whether or not she's going to be invited to the wedding. Amy has blocked her off of everything. If you know anything about me in my personal life, I will block you in a call me and act stupid. Send me a text message at the wrong time, at the wrong place, saying the wrong thing. I will block that door. I don't care if it's my mother calling me from heaven. No, I'm just, I'm exaggerating about that, but no, my siblings know I'm not. You get on my nerve, you rub me the wrong way, you won't talk to me until I'm ready to talk to you. Amy did the right thing because right now she needs peace, and she needs to be able to enjoy herself. Golly. We saw all of that stuff that Amy went through. And I can't believe I'm saying all this because I don't rock with lean with Amy either half the time. But right is right and wrong is wrong. Y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comment section. Like I said, I ain't looking at the comments on purpose because I don't want to see somebody saying something. And then, you know what I'm saying? I misinterpreted because when you sitting on this side of the camera, comments look a little different. And you ain't following the whole thread. So you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know me. Sometimes I get out of line with my little comments and stuff. I just was like, I'm just disgusted with it because let this girl enjoy this. Billy tried when he was sitting with her to get her to apologize. He wanted her to fix the relationship. He wanted her to fix the relationship. She's not listening to anybody. Did Chris and Misty have a conversation? Did they come and sit down at Tammy's dinner table? Did they? Did they go and sit down with Tammy? Why didn't it get filmed? Because they treat Amy differently than they do Tammy. Tammy is nasty and takes no accountability for the things that she has done. We have seen this year after year after year. She has talked about Amy's sex life, how many guys that she's been with, but look at the trash that she has brought to her house. She had that one guy that said he don't date nothing but BBWs. He's a little Instagram. Oh my God. Then she had somebody's husband sitting up in there. She don't make good decisions. The boys come over to the house so they can drink and do all of that kind of stuff with her. Like, grow up. So Andrea reaches out to Amy. Amy, and for them to get together and have a conversation. She's convinced her that that Tammy wants to reconcile. Tammy is riding in a car. She don't even really want to be there. But you know what? Because she's nervous and she lacks education, in my opinion, she doesn't even know how to have a conversation with someone. It's the fear of not being able to say anything that is intelligent or that's relevant or that's important or that's honest or that's true. That's my opinion. The girl lacks education. Then we got the girlfriend coming over there. She looking like she cowering down to Tammy. So we see who wear the pants in the relationship. Because the show ain't the girlfriend Andrea. Because half the time she looked like she was walking on thin ice. Like she felt like it was going to fall at any moment. She looked like she was living in a glass house and Tammy was standing outside with a stone. She looks like to me that she is afraid of Tammy. And I think all of them are afraid of getting on the wrong side of Tammy. But like Amy said, for she ain't gonna let her run over her like that anymore. And the family expect forgiveness no matter what. You cannot treat people poorly all your life and it just be status quo. I'm gonna keep forgiving you. Amy said that a couple of episodes ago. How many times do I have to forgive this chick? How many times I gotta forgive her? How many times do I have to turn the other cheek? And you could be a Christian and say 7 times 70, Auntie. We ain't even gonna do it. You ain't got but one good time. One good time. And we're gonna have some issues. No family is perfect. I love my siblings. Lord knows I love my siblings. But there has to be boundaries in every relationship. Every relationship. Ain't no relationship different. It's not. It has to be mutual respect and mutual love. It's got to be some empathy. It's got to be, it's like, it just got to be, and there isn't any, and no one is holding Tammy accountable. They didn't hold Tammy accountable when she was going through the stuff with Amanda. They didn't hold Tammy accountable when she was going through the stuff with Brittany. Tammy is the common denominator, not Amy. Amy there's something wrong with Amy, but she's not the common denominator. It's Tammy and Chris. Because Chris is the gossiper. Chris keep the stop. He continues to stir the pot. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He stirs the pot and he's a gossiper. It was amazing when they were standing outside of the bakery. And when they were outside of the bakery, and they asked Misty whether or not she liked Brian. And she said they just bed warmers. If they ain't been in that family 10 years or more, they bed warmers. Can you imagine being with someone that you love and that you live with? And if you ain't spent more than 10 years in that relationship, you're considered a bed warmer? And Amy sat up there and said that her girlfriend gets up in the morning with a bush, an afro. I'm like, Tammy, I don't care how wild you and your girlfriend get together at night. I don't care what y'all doing. I don't care how you flip it and how you don't flip it. Ain't neither one of y'all waking up in the morning with an afro. There's so many things that I can say about that, but I'm just going to take a moment of silence so I don't cuss her all the way out. You don't know nothing about an afro. You got a pick in your house? What do you know about 4C or 4 or 3B here? What do you know about an afro? Because she's so used to dating men of color that maybe she think, girl, don't you ever let that come out your mouth again. And then she gonna try to clean it up like that. We don't know that they're doing things. Girl, bye. Grow up. Anyway, let me hurry up. So we have to meet up. As I said, Tammy is in the car and she says she's nervous. And again, because she can't articulate well, nervousness means that she's going to be nasty. You old enough, you know. If you know, you know. So Amy is sitting at the place. It looks like a coffee shop, waiting for her sister to come in. She's picked out her dress. She's doing her cake. They did a dance lesson. She found a venue. Now she's got to resolve this issue with Tammy. So Andrea and Tammy come in. Tammy dried in a month. Amy, this is Andrea. Goes and sit down. Andrea explains why she's doing what she's doing. She thought that the two of them needed to get together. And as I said, who you saying who to? Okay. So so I misspoke. Did I misspeak? Did I say Amy in place of Tammy? I apologize. So now here we got this woman, and I want to keep saying it. who doesn't know Amy. She's never met her. Facilitating a conversation. You're not a therapist. You're not a life coach. You're a girlfriend. She tries to tell Amy the purpose of them being here. Okay, have at it. Amy says, do you know what she said to me? She called me a deadbeat mother. Amy then looks at Tammy and says, you shouldn't have did that. Instead of Tammy being able to articulate intelligently, you shouldn't have hurt my feelings. Now she wants to storm out. She doesn't have the intelligence and the wherewithal to have a simple conversation with her sister. Whether you got to cuss through it, fuss through it, nothing. Amy wasn't crying at that time. She wasn't doing any of the things that Tammy said she would do. All Amy simply said was, you should not have done that. And the next thing you know, Tammy comes off defensively and said, you shouldn't have hurt me. Amy said, only thing, and I showed y'all the picture. Do I still got them daggone clips? You know you probably got rid of them, girl. Yeah, I did. The only thing that Tammy had to do was say, I apologize, but I was angry because I felt like you was ducking out of it. I felt like you didn't want to get out of the bed, like she said in the text messages. But she didn't have a right to call her a deadbeat. And then she gets up and tells us later on in the green room that Amy disrespected her. Did we miss something? Because she didn't disrespect her. She did not disrespect Tammy. She was having the conversation, trying to have the conversation, taking the middleman out, speaking directly to her and say, you should not have done that. But instead of Tammy taking responsibility and accountability for what she said and how she made her sister feel, she gets up and can't do it. But you talking about Amy. You told Andrea that Amy wasn't even going to come. But fooled you. Amy showed up. Amy agreed to it. She wants to try to put it behind her. You still ain't going to be the maid of honor because you don't need to be. And nobody is correcting Tammy. She's nasty. And while she says that Amy is jealous of her, Amy, no matter how trifling Amy is sometimes to me, in my opinion, she supported her miles away with her wedding with Caleb. And Tammy can't return the favor, not even 10% of it. She set that stuff up downtown at that rehabilitation center for this girl to get married to Caleb. She got everything that she wanted, and now it's Amy's turn, and she can't support her. Seems like to me, you're the one jealous. She gets up and storms outside. The girlfriend is telling her, Amy is like, Amy said, Tammy, all I said was, what kind of animals are going to be there? We saw the messages. That's exactly what she said. What kind of animals are going to be there? Because I got a little PTSD from getting bit by the camel. And Tammy flew off the handle. And now we sitting here making excuses for her. I ain't got it to do. I'm gonna call a thing a thing. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, because you free to talk, and say what you want to say. You could disagree. That's fine. These are my opinions. You got yours, right? We're all critical thinkers and we think what we. But no, people that do stuff like that to me, I always think they lack the intelligence and lack the ability to articulate their feelings, to be able to say what it is. I have been, and I'm sure you all have been or have had people in your life, right? A coworker maybe, who instead of having the ability to sit down, talk about something, articulate how they feel so that you can come to a resolution, they blow up the meeting. And you'd be like, okay, so how did we get here? like, like, how did we get here? And God forbid if you match their energy, then you the one wrong. So if Amy had got up and ran behind Tammy and got up in her face and matched Tammy's energy, she would have been wrong. Amy came there with a resolve, hoping and thinking, based on what Andrea has told to her, that Tammy was ready for this. Tammy's not ready for this. It's going to be Amy. This is how I see it. This is going to be Amy taking down and being the one to apologize to Tammy for Tammy being ignorant and disrespectful. Oh, hey, Yazil. Hey, boo. Did Amy call Andrea? Andrea said in the episode that she facilitated this meeting. Matter of fact, she had talked to Tammy about facilitating the meeting. I did see in the preview that she's saying stay away from Andrea. But again, that's just ignorant because we all know what it is. Hey, boo, you here? Okay, hey, boo. I'm not giving Tammy a pass. Tammy's outside walking around in a parking lot. Amy's in there broken hearted and saying all she had to do was listen. She wouldn't even listen. And she doesn't. She's hot headed and she's been allowed to be this way. Amy didn't say anything wrong, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. She didn't say nothing wrong to that girl. It was time to address it. And she couldn't handle it. And Amy told Andrea, I can't handle her toxic ass anymore. She said, you know that she's toxic. She said, Tammy is toxic, and you know it because you're her partner. And I was like, end of story. Because the girlfriend said, I know. She knows who she's dealing with. She agreed with Amy that Tammy is toxic. She couldn't even halfway look up. She was embarrassed, shocked, and Simone, you added that. The girlfriend was shocked because she knows one side of Tammy, but now she saw the other side of Tammy. She was trying to apologize and listen to Amy. The thing that made me angry about Amy is keep it together. Now, that crying, nobody wants that. The girl goes over to say something to her. Amy jumps up. She runs into the wrong corridor in the daggone facility in the coffee shop. She going back there, I guess, to break down some coffee beans. I don't know. But you got to keep a level head, and you cannot react to people. Yes, you heard. But to sit back there and we can't understand what you're saying, you all over the place, the girl's going behind you, and like, what in the world is going on? Amy, get it together. But I know that she's frustrated. She's always the one who's blamed for doing the wrong thing, in my opinion, by the siblings. And nobody has addressed that. Why hasn't that been addressed? Why hasn't Misty and Chris been on camera and addressed Tammy on camera of how bad that was? Tammy won't even listen to a preacher. She won't even listen to Billy. They're filming her outside. She tell them, "Can you not film me?" They stop immediately because they know, in my opinion, how nasty Tammy is. Tammy's out in the car. She does a green screen and says, "I had every intention of coming in there and saying I was sorry." No, you didn't. But okay, we're here. We're listening. She said, "I had every intention of coming in and apologizing, and I'm glad I didn't." If you had every intention of coming in here apologizing, you would have came in at with a different posture. I've never, I think, remembered Tammy apologizing for anything without a justification for why she was nasty. Point blank into to the period. They know Tammy nasty. Let me poll y'all real quick before we go out. Hold on, y'all, because I really want to see where y'all are. I'm going to put a poll in here, and when I put the poll in here, right, y'all, it does not show how you voted. It doesn't show your name, anything. I can't see it, so you can do it, and nobody will know, that you riding. Okay, nobody will know that you riding for Tammy, but um. Okay, so hold on. Let me put it a poll. Okay, there go the poll. I have to say that Andrea wasn't the best a mediator. Although she tried, it just wasn't her job to do. Andrea said that she thinks that Tammy wants this. Tammy has to show that she wants this. Tammy talks a good game, I think, in front of the cameras and makes it appear that she wants to reconcile with her sister. Andrea said that Amy is Tammy's person. But it appears to be, in order to be Tammy's person, you have to allow Tammy to walk all over you, disrespect you, and have a one sided relationship where she's not giving but receiving. And that's not being somebody's person. Andrea could barely hold her head up. This was an epic fail. The excuse that we're hearing from Misty, from Chris, is that her hormones are off. As Amy said, you kept saying that you was nasty because you was 750 pounds. Now you saying you nasty because you've lost over 500 pounds. You can't be both. You can't have it both ways. And I know, and I'm sure that you all know, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to tell the truth. I know that you all know people who have had weight loss surgery, bypass. I can't even remember what the other one is. And they have never acted like this. There may be some quirkiness about them or something like that. They may seem a little off sometimes. But this ain't it. This is regular old Tammy. This is 750-pound Tammy. This is miserable Tammy. These are my opinions. May not be actual, may not be factual, but they're my opinions and I'm entitled to it. And I want y'all to know that you're entitled to it too. Put it downtown in the comment section. I would love to hear what you have to say and what y'all think. Okay, right now we are at the votes. We're at 55 votes. Who was wrong? Tammy or Amy? Right now we at 95%. 95%. It was Tammy. And right now we have 800 people in here. Wonder what the other people think. I'm going to end the poll here. Now, you know, we take polls all the time. We don't have no high ratios like that most of the time, y'all. We just don't. 95% of you all said. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. What's that pasted? Okay, there you go. 56 people voted. Tammy, you are the problem. According to 95% of these votes. You're the problem. 5% said it was Amy. I'm going to end with this. The audacity of a woman. The audacity of a woman to not celebrate another woman. The audacity of a woman to tell someone's husband, your husband, your friend's husband, that they need to celebrate you and not their wife. The audacity. And we talk about jealousy. Chris, last week, indicated that he wanted to take Brittany to New Orleans to celebrate her weight loss. And Tammy made it about her. The audacity of someone to not allow a husband to celebrate his wife. Absolutely, Tammy is very self-centered. When was the last time y'all ever heard Tammy celebrate anybody? They were driving up to the rehabilitation center, doing all kinds of stuff for her and her husband. Okay, did I misspeak again, Barbara? Auntie Sarah accidentally said Tammy. Amy, she meant Tammy. Okay, thank you, Boo, for correcting that. Okay, Tamika. Tamika said it sounds like that 5% was an accidental tap on the wrong name. Maybe because I've said the names wrong this evening. Thank you all for questioning and for those who understand it. Sometimes I talk a little fast. Anyway, I love y'all. We got another video we're going to be doing. If you are interested in 90 Day Fiance, we're going to be talking about that ratchet math. Tammy, do better. Thank y'all so much for being here. I love y'all. Turn y'all notification bells on because I'll be back in about 10 minutes.